Welcome to another episode of Paisa Live Podcast. I'm one half of your hosts. I go by the name of O, and with me is my man Bugs, as always.
Yo, yo, yo.
Now, if you're looking for a show that features two hosts discussing the impact of Latin Americans in today's society and culture in an intelligent and dignified manner, then you're probably looking in the wrong place because you will find almost none of that in this show.
We don't care about facts. This is
Not at
all.
all.
This is all opinion based, and
Absolutely.
we do what we want.
Yeah, and I want to commend you for letting us record in your place. We're actually above the dungeons today. This is a very special episode for a lot of reasons. This is one of the few episodes where I'm not wearing steel toe boots, which means that I did not go to work today.
This step up episode.
Yeah, there you go. And I also want to commend you on ignoring your family for this.
Nah, they know. They know. Because remember, we're using equipment.
Right.
We're putting something out, and it's just part of
Oh,
the daily routine.
All I'm saying is you definitely have two kids in the other room that probably want to spend time with their dad on this beautiful sunny day, but we're in this darkness recording.
Recording because
But,
quality audio is a thing.
It is.
We gotta get out there.
Absolutely. But I feel like ignoring your family is one of the staples of Paisa life.
Yeah, because you're always working.
Always working. And if you're not working, then you are with your work, I want to say colleagues, drinking
Yeah.
the working man's Gatorade, beer, which we are actually doing at the moment.
Shout out to the brew.
Shout out to the brew. We're not going to say any brand names because we don't want to get sued.
Oh, we ain't getting paid. Either or.
Yeah, well, once they send that check, we'll definitely say. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm willing to sell out as soon as I can, even if you have a shitty product. If you're gonna pay me money, I'll gladly vouch for you. I'll ride for you.
Sure. We the following is growing.
Yeah, absolutely. What are we up to? 201 views now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We might be at 5 views from last week. Who
Yo,
knows? Man?
listen.
But again, we just putting this out.
Absolutely.
We don't not want to put these out. This is actually 6.1.
It is.
It's second attempt at the 6.
Yeah, we had a little mishap with the last episode, as in we were a little too out of it.
Yeah, it's just
Pretty impaired. It just didn't make the cut.
Yeah, I mean it was a great episode. It's just the quality wasn't there.
We'll leave it at that.
We didn't focus.
Yeah.
Let's just say it. We happened to slip in the quality of the recording.
Yeah.
And then
We'll eventually, release it.
lost files.
Yeah.
Lost files.
It's in the catacombs of our archives.
They just they're in the archive somewhere.
Somewhere.
We have gigabytes of storage. So
Yo, but I really want to go back to what we were just talking about. That I brought up about the
ignoring the family.
yeah, because that's the thing that I've noticed that is a big thing with the paisas. I know many patriarchs that would rather choose beer and their friends over their families. And I know you're not really one of those, but what is it that you think that makes them want to just do that? Do you feel like it's because they're constantly working that they don't have time for themselves? Or is it because their families are so large that they feel like they're at a point where they're self-sustaining?
Well, the thing it comes down to is you gotta realize that we have 24 hours in a single day. It's really up to us to figure out how we break those 24 hours down. You gotta put a certain amount of sleep, certain amount of work, certain amount for family, certain amount for you. And once you come up with a certain formula that works for you,
Right.
then you run with that.
You know-
Because I mean, culturally, I know what you're talking about because what a coincidence that it happens predominantly, within
The paisa community.
yeah. But it's just because again, it's one of those things that are one of those vices that bring
Yeah.
people together. Like the bond between borrachitos, like
Yeah.
it's a strong one because those will rock. Cause think about it, you have the fondest memories of you being down for crazy shit, but it's mainly because
You're impaired, drunk out of your
you
mind.
were drunk at your mind,
I actually did want to discuss a little more. I wanted to explore the word paisa a little more for those for those people that aren't really.
Our explain a Paisa segment.
Yeah,
or-
exactly. So I was thinking about this at work because I do have a lot of time while I work. I do manual labor, which frees up my mind because it's all very repetitive. And I was thinking about the evolution of the word paisa. And when I was in Mexico, Paisa meant one thing, which doesn't necessarily mean what I feel like it means now.
Yeah.
See, where I'm from, and I don't know if it's just because of the part of Mexico that I'm from,
Paisano.
right? But where I'm from the city, and the word paisa was usually associated with people who were part of the poor working class and had a lot of indigenous
Paisita.
features. Yeah, they were definitely poor, working class, very brown skinned people. But then when you move to from your country to the U.S., it takes on another meaning.
The,
And
the Paisano
right,
meaning.
and at first when I was young, what it meant was someone who still comes from those places. They're possibly uneducated. They're still very brown. They're still very poor, and they never really leave traditional Mexican. I want to say, is it habits? But they really hold on tight to their traditions. And then as I got older and I started to mature a little more, I realized that paisa takes on a whole new meaning because it's somebody that can relate to you, who can understand you, who knows the struggle, who says, "Hey, listen, I'm going through it too. We're in a country where nobody wants us here."
We're struggle brothers.
Exactly. But we're going to do this together. And I mean, I still feel like a lot of people don't make that distinction and they look down on paisas. Like I saw a girl on Twitter complaining that, "Oh, ew, some paisas hit on me today," and they're using it in a pretty negative manner because
I'm like, bitch, check this out. That's a
exactly,
hard working man
exactly
trying to
trying to get
pursue
some
you.
trying to
You
get some cooch off you.
know. I mean,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it there's always negative connotations with it because what I feel like paisas to I guess most paisas
it's a
themselves.
derogatory term
Yeah, yeah.
in
It's like
some
it's
ways.
somebody who's possibly very brown, who's very indigenous looking.
It's a demeaning name
Yeah.
for a native looking
Oh, yeah,
person.
exactly. And it's related to people that love to get drunk with their friends in a white wife beater with
Yeah.
the trademark
Maybe
buckle,
maybe
huge buckle with perhaps a scorpion on it.
could these people perhaps be also nacos?
Oh,
Paisas
absolutely.
nacos?
And you can tell usually by their pointy boots and their
Or the Nikes or the Jordans?
oh yeah, Team Jordans. And and their love for getting drunk and then beating their wife.
Oh yeah.
That's a big thing.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a huge fraction,
No.
but like if you broke it down, there is the again the stats will
Right.
always be stats.
And I feel like they're always associated with banda music.
Corridos.
Corridos.
I'd say
Okay.
corridos.
If you don't know
Co-
what
co-
banda norteños corridos are, they're pretty much polka music
because I mean, yeah,
with a
it
lot of
is.
more swag. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of heavy use of trumpets, of tubas, accordions are a big thing.
Yeah, but I feel like you're more likely to beat your woman if you listen to narco corridos
Yeah. Oh yeah.
than if you listen to whatever whatever they have at the jaripeo that everybody's going to
Which we're
go
going
listen.
to next time it comes, by the way.
Yeah,
So be on the lookout for us.
yeah, tickets.
Yeah.
Get us tickets.
Sponsor us.
Sponsors. Get
W-
us those.
Yeah.
Again, you can be on this.
Yeah, but no, there's definitely a lot of negative connotations with the word paisa, which is one of the things we're trying to change. Because I'm a paisa, and there's no way around it. Granted, when people look at me, they never talk to me in Spanish. I hear a lot of people talk to me in broken English because they assume that I don't speak.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. They always start with
That's definitely a
that's
positive
how
thing
they start. Yeah,
that's how I start most of my sentences.
yeah,
If you listen closely to how I talk,
yeah,
you could tell I'm Paisa
yeah,
because that's just the way we are.
yeah. And I'm always quick to switch it up in Spanish, not for my convenience, because I can understand what you're trying to say, but it's just so you don't have to struggle as much. So I'm doing this for you. But I always get, oh, you look Puerto Rican, you look this, like the most. Well, what's like the most fucked up comment you've ever heard being a paisa
I wouldn't say
on your
fucked
appearance?
up. The weirdest one was some girl thought I was Chinese.
Yo, I get that a lot too. Now, the most fucked up one was a girl was like asking me where I was from, and I'm like, oh, I'm from Mexico, straight, born and raised. She said, you can't be from Mexico because you're not ugly. And I was like, yo,
That's
fuck
funny.
this bitch. I can't believe she just said that. Yo, those are my people. I'm happy to be Mexican, dog.
But again, in this day and age, a lot of people they don't. America is not what the world looks at it. It's pretty much everyone looks out for themselves. So not everyone's self-centered. Everybody thinks they know everything, and they just don't get it. Like for example, I was at a job site the other day,
Uh huh.
and they're re-waxing the floors.
Uh huh.
So they close off a whole section, caution tape, do not
Right.
enter signs, handwritten signs saying fresh wax, please do not step, whatever, whatever. And you have a huge amount of people ignoring all of that and going through just to get like some bullshit, like some chips or something.
Jesus Christ.
And when you're telling something like, hey, it's clearly closed off, that's like you just ruined hour and a half hours worth of work. And it's crazy to look at these people and they don't comprehend that the world does not
Not revolve
cater
around
to
them.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so self-absorbed and.
And
Oh my
that's how middle America is. It's not
Yeah.
their fault. That's how they were, made to be.
God. Right.
But that's why we out here ready to educate them.
Yeah.
Because we gotta let them know. Like again, you think something, but
Yeah.
yeah. Because
Exactly.
I just love telling people anything that shocks them to know that I'm a paisa.
You know what would shock them more is that you're responsible, that you own a house, you have your own business, you have a beautiful family, only 2 kids. Oh my God, they'd be like, "You sure you don't have 6?"
Yo, do you know how much enjoyment I get out of telling everybody?
Yeah.
I have a daughter in private school.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like I try to tell people that's a parental flex. Like,
Yeah, it is.
Like I don't want to flex on me.
Yeah, it's like
Because again,
Yeah.
my life is not about me; it's about those around me. I feel like
Right.
that's a very paisa thing too.
yeah,
To
Definitely.
want best for you and those around you,
right.
which is why I know this community has a lot of potential. That's why we just need that one center point to just
We
kickstart.
just need that little push in the right general direction.
Exactly. That's why once this podcast gets a hold
yeah.
of those other paisas nationwide
That are trying to do something.
that relate to
Yeah.
to this struggle, then that's where we can really build a community. That's when paisa life can really take off. Because
Yeah.
again, I don't want it to always just to be us. I want us in other cities to be on this too. Just like the bigger the message, the louder it's gonna be heard.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. But back to what you was talking about. This whole week has been crazy. Like we said, this is 6.1. We had a lot of good topics we touched on our first attempt.
I'll be honest with
at
you.
the 6th episode.
I drank my beer very quickly, and I definitely don't remember a lot of what we talked about last time.
I mean, we have the recordings. We can go back, but
Will we go back? Probably not.
nah.
No.
Again, we're only going forward because
Yeah.
we made so many attempts at other episodes too.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I haven't listened to them. Like
No.
they're just going deeper and deeper and deeper into the archives to where are they? Who knows?
Yeah.
But back to another segment that I like to talk about,
Okay.
that I want to start calling spot the racist.
Spot the racist. Oh wow. Okay.
I want to call it spot the racist.
Not always easy.
And this was inspired by, again, those people I was talking about that would not understand the do not cross lines.
They couldn't grasp the general concept of a
Yeah.
sign that says "For your benefit, please don't."
Yeah, and one of those people throughout that week that we were doing all of that
Right.
really looked at me and really said, "You people should have thought about this differently." And then
Wow.
yeah, like
Yeah, he's not even being subtle about it at that point.
I mean, I wanted to ask exactly what do you mean, because again, I don't want to jump to
conclusions.
Yeah, I don't want to be the person that screams racism for everything, because
Right.
us Paisas, we get discriminated a lot.
Oh
bro.
my God.
Like racism against us is crazy, because I've experienced it from every shade
You know what though?
of pasty white
can I-
to like the purple is blacks.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like in my life, and this might just be a personal observation, but I feel like the people that have been the most racist to me weren't white people. It's been black people.
yeah. Like white people will be racist at a distance.
Passive aggressively racist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They won't really be like,
Like they'll look at
mm.
you funny from across the room, like, oh, what is he doing here?
But then they'll be like, well, you know what? Here, you can have some of our food too. I guess.
Whatever we don't eat, you can have, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You can have the scraps.
Martha told me you do great work, so you might be all right.
Yo, shout out to Martha.
Yeah, but us Pisces, we experience a lot of racism.
Oh yeah.
And then that's why this whole spot the racism segment is I think I want to start because like we all go through it. We all got stories.
Right.
Like it happens to everybody. But yeah. So my whole point to that was that I want to start making more segments too. Like now we have spot the races. We got to do maybe. We got Paisa hacks. We haven't done one of those
In a while.
Yeah. So I feel like we need to do a few more of those. There's a lot of YouTube stuff I've been looking at that just reminds me that all the media does is cover everything except brown related things. And that it really has me asking the bigger question to what else are they not sharing with me?
Mm-hmm.
To where it's like that's why I don't watch news. That's why I don't do any of that because you go on Facebook, you go everywhere, like it's always the same thing over and over and over again. To when you can take a step back from that, it's so refreshing to know that you don't have to worry about how scary the outside world is, because the news really, really corrupts you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of racism on the news.
Oh yeah.
I eat Trump.
Yeah,
I eat
man.
Trump. I eat the whole RNC
You think,
stuff. Like
yo,
the best way I've heard the RNC described as is the Lollapalooza of racism.
yeah, that sounds about right though.
Right.
Sounds
So,
about right.
so it's been crazy. So one topic from first attempt at episode 6 was the whole controversy about the Melania or whatever her name is, the plagiarism stuff. We touched on that.
We did.
I actually want to touch on it again.
Sure.
Just because I wanted to ask you again what you thought about the whole plagiarism stuff.
I mean,
now that
I don't know why we're acting like people don't plagiarize things. That's how I passed high school and college. I basically just ripped off of other people's essays and just changed up the words.
If you never copy and paste in your life, I can't fuck with you.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't copy and paste, you're not gonna fit well in society because you need to adapt. That's a whole other thing, adaptability. Sometimes it's about working smart, not hard, and you let other let other people do the work for you, which is exactly what she did. She let the brown person do the work for her, and then she just took credit for it. I mean, she got caught, which was she could have been a little smarter. But I think like the biggest issue wasn't necessarily that she copied, because people don't really give a fuck that she copied. They do, but it's like mostly black people. Let's be honest. Let's keep it 100. White people don't give a fuck that she copied it. They might be like, oh yeah, I mean, okay, because they do it too.
Yeah.
But what really got them mad, I feel like they got them more mad, was the fact that she didn't like the writer didn't exist. Allegedly. I mean, they had a Twitter page that was just started like 24 hours before the news got really, really big. So it's a little fishy.
But again, that's the media feeding you all the stuff.
Media, brother.
They want you to hear.
That's the media, brother. You can't listen to them.
Yeah, exactly. That's
my God.
That's what I tell people. I know that sounds crazy, but the moment you step away from all that, that's why when you peek in to see the WrestleMania of racism, it's it's crazy,
But dog, it's like in Britain, right? They said that the reason that Britain left, what is it?
The EU,
is it the EU or the European?
European Union. Yeah.
Okay.
The EU.
Well, they said that the vote came down to the middle class, which is mostly white, racist people.
But that's Mama America. That's like where America came from. That's
right.
America's parents.
But one of the biggest issues that they had was the fact that a lot of the European nations were taking in Muslim refugees, and they just didn't want a part of that, so they split off.
I mean, the way I interpret that is they didn't want a larger government that wasn't like thinking of them when making laws.
Right. That too.
You know, because think about it, the EU is pretty much they trying to make the United States of Europe. They really want
Mm,
Europe to be a country. That's the whole point of the EU, bro.
right.
So pretty much what they want is they want to. That's the bigger government. That's
Right.
why they split away from it because
Right.
they don't want someone in another country making laws for people here.
Yeah. But that's the sensible explanation, which is like the more rational, and you can actually agree with it. But when it really comes down to it, do you really think that's what those people were thinking about? A lot of them were uneducated white working citizens who just didn't really understand how complex it
Yeah,
was.
because the biggest racism is I don't want those other white people
Exactly.
telling me what to do.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to get at.
I'm the best kind of white.
Exactly. I don't want those other white people telling me that I should be inclusive
And
and
then
that I should be respectful of other people.
and I gotta remind everybody. There's been 2 world wars about white people arguing with each other.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Japanese people were there somewhere at some point.
Yeah, because they're
They were opportunists.
yeah,
They really were. They were like, you know what? Let's see what we can do.
again we have no knowledge of history or any
No,
facts.
we might have just made that up.
Everything we said
Everything
up to this point
might have been
made-
false. But you know what? Correct us.
Yeah,
If you really want to correct us, come on the show. Give us your facts. Will we listen to them? Possibly not.
if it's an issue, really come see me.
But I mean, if we're really, really wrong, the most we'll do is just shush you. Like, shh. It's not your. Like,
Alright.
relax. It's not your podcast.
All right, we're working at episode 7 already.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
that was episode 6. Shut your mouth.
Yeah. No, but that I feel like that's the other thing here in America. I mean, there's a lot of good points to being a Republican. They have a lot to offer. I'm sure if I knew anything about politics.
Again, our parents are very Republican curious.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the big fundamentals of being a Republican are something that we can really get behind. Making a lot of money, blindly believing in religion.
Little government.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Capitalism is king.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, I've said it before, if it wasn't for that whole racist aspect, the Latino vote would go straight up to Republicans.
Exactly.
Straight up.
I mean, we're definitely still going Democrat because again, I feel like that's where the money's at because you know.
You think so?
Yeah,
It's well, it's definitely the least racist
who's
on paper.
who is hiring colored right now, bro? Like,
Okay.
if you go across the country,
Yeah.
and you
Okay.
look at governments throughout, everybody's
okay.
making an effort at hiring colored just so the government can be
They
like,
could flex like, oh, we
Yeah.
got one of those. How can we be
yeah,
racist?
like they'll either have an all white staff and just have like a black mayor and just to kind of balance the whole thing, or
Yeah.
or they'll have like a white mayor and then
Yeah.
they'll have colored staff,
Yeah.
whatever shade of
Yeah.
dark you want. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like that's how white people see us. I feel like the amount of colors that they see has just gotten wider. And they're like, oh man, we just have this many more people to hate. Like at first it was like, oh, we just want to hate the slaves that don't want to work for free no more.
Yeah.
and then slowly that spectrum started growing. I mean, and then there was also those pesky brown people that we first had to get rid of. We actually had to steal
right.
their
The ones
land.
with the feather
Yeah, those
on their head.
yeah.
Wow. Was
the,
that racist?
the,
Yeah,
the
possibly.
ones that happen to look like the same ones in Mexico, like the same ones in South America,
Same ones in the Middle East somehow.
somehow, yeah, exactly. Somehow.
Yo, a lot of fucking people from the Middle East, you put a mustache and a sombrero on them, they look just like Mexicans.
Exactly. We touched on this, which confusing race again. I wanna maybe have this be another segment. How is that? How are you not? And then whatever race, because I don't
Right.
want to just say Mexican, but the reason I say this is because in the RNC I saw a picture of a group of white people with cowboy hats saying Latinos for Trump.
Yikes. Yo, we have to revoke their license
Right,
right,
like-
now.
Like
their cars.
I feel like we're brown enough to be able to revoke anyone that has any sort of claim
Dog,
of themselves as
bro,
Latino.
You know damn well they just hired a bunch of Cubans and Puerto Ricans. Like, yo, we're gonna give you X amount of money and just ride for us for today, just on camera.
Yeah, that's why my hottest issue on first attempt at episode 6 was my whole Paisas are the reincarnation of Native Americans.
Hmm.
The natives.
Wow, that's a bold.
I'm
okay.
just saying, you know why? Because this is Paisa life, bro.
Yeah.
Again, Paisa is the new thing, because again we don't have a specific thing. You know, if you want to be a Paisa, sure, come right
Welcome. If
in.
you don't,
Welcome. Exactly.
I
Like
mean,
again, if you look at both of our skins, that's there's a good amount of differences.
oh yeah,
And then there's whiter people out there, and there's darker people. You know,
yeah.
we fit that whole spectrum. The whole. I feel like Paisa is synonymous with spectrum, because there's just
Mm.
a wide range of it can be anything, literally. You know, that's why we want to get this Cinco de Mayo
In
in
September.
September popping.
Mm-hmm.
We need
Mm-hmm.
insurance. Holla at us.
Yeah, if you wanna insure us
Yeah,
for our sake.
because I feel like
Yeah, sure.
we can find the place quickly enough. And also, oh yeah, we need sponsors for porta potties. If we
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
or people to sponsor
That's
this. Yeah, because that's
that's
another
a
another thing you gotta have. Because comes for it's crazy that in order to host an event, you need to have a lot of requirements up to par. I did not know this.
I mean, I guess the biggest fear is that somebody catches something or gets in, like, physically injured. Is that the biggest fear that we have at this point? It shouldn't be.
I mean, we've
It's
def-
probable, but will we? Because
we've
yo, Paisas go very hard.
we go extra again, excessive.
I know you're talking about insurance purposes, and the first thing that came to mind is what if someone gets a bottle broken on their head?
I mean, you mean when
When someone gets it.
yeah,
So if you go to this event, know fully well that at any given moment you're very, very much at risk to getting a bottle broken on your head
like you're bound to see MMA fights with weapons.
with weapons.
That's the type of life we live. That's why we watch
Yeah.
MMA. We're like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, that's
Yo, but we're so desensitized to those because it's always somebody's drunk uncle, somebody's older
and since you were
Paisa
little
man.
too, bro. And since
Yeah,
you were little
I know.
too.
The first fight I ever saw was
And-
two drunk Paisas fighting in the middle of Broadway in front of Stella's Pizza.
And that, bro, is how the white man took over the Americas.
By making us fight with each other. But I feel like we've been doing that since the motherland.
They gave us booze. They gave us
Oh yeah.
because brews and liquors like.
Bro, if we have pulque at home,
Oh,
we don't.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
we need their? We
Nah,
don't
nah.
need them. Listen,
Nah,
we don't need any government to.
Yo, if I have pulque here, bro, ooh, trust me, I'll be on that pulque wave.
All right. So if you don't know what pulque is, do you mind describing what it is? Because I all I know is it was a white alcohol substance that would get my grandpa to like fall asleep in the middle of the street. R.I.P. Abuelito.
Yes.
Yo, my dad told me one time that him and my mom went to a fair, and on their way back home, they saw some drunk guy in the middle of the road. And as they got closer, my dad realized that it was his dad, and they had to pick him up. And my grandpa wouldn't let them. He was dead set on sleeping on the floor, but eventually they picked him up and took him home. Thank you, Pulque, for that beautiful anecdote.
Bro, that first of all, shout out to son Roti. Like that's one of the few people that I could be like, yo, that's a very influential, figure in my life as well.
Yeah.
Because every time I saw him, just like life lessons. He's like, I know you know, man. And I'm like, I know you feel, because somehow when you're a Paisa, you can relate to Paisas within any age range,
Yep.
because you'll find a way to relate, quickly. That's why when I come across white people, it's hard to read them, because it's like I can feel your vibes, I can feel kind of what you're doing, but I don't know who you are.
Do you? This is gonna sound weird, but do you feel like white people have a distinct smell to them, or is this just me?
Might be you,
I think
Maybe.
okay.
maybe.
All right.
But then again, I don't think I've smelled enough white people in my life to really
I've-
know.
I've been romantically linked to members of the Caucasian race, and I mean, all right, this is gonna maybe fuck it up for all of us, but
Because Paisas have a smell. We smell like jabonzote or Ariel.
Ariel, I'd say the powder one,
Yeah, yeah.
not the liquid one, definitely the powdered soap.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you can't be a Paisa.
I don't
and
know.
say you don't use
I
it,
feel like white people just have a different smell to them.
maybe.
I don't know how much time you spend in the home of a white person, but I used to have a white friend like in 6th grade who I would like have sleepovers at his house and stuff, and definitely a very
Ham? Maybe ham? Mayonnaise?
asparagus. Was it something? It was a
Things
distinct
that are
smell.
sauteed?
Maybe,
Maybe. A lot of.
maybe it was like privilege.
Oh yeah.
I think that's
Oh,
what I smelled.
I think privilege might have a smell.
I think that's what it was.
I think you know what
I
it
think
smells
that's
like.
what it was.
Because I've been to a lot of people that don't make much money, and they're because I feel like I have a very good, sense of smell.
Right.
'Cause I can smell things like a mile
Right.
away. So I feel like people that that are struggling,
Yeah.
like the smells are a baseline. People that are really struggling, then that's when the house smell like cat, smell like dog,
Yeah.
funky, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yo,
But,
even
but we're baseline, and a lot of privileged people,
Mhm.
like houses that are 2,000 square feet plus.
Right.
I feel like there's another smell to those.
Oh, it could be. But even my dogs, I have two dogs, and they're wild Mexican men. They listen to people in Spanish more than English, despite the fact they've been living here their whole life.
They'll give you the que look.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You talk to them in Spanish, they'll do what you say, sometimes, which is sounds about right for a Paisa dog. Doesn't always listen to you, only when it benefits them.
Of course, of course. Why?
Why else would they? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the girl that I'm seeing now, she's white, but she cooks Mexican food, so they definitely revoked her white card. She doesn't have that smell.
She got your food, bro.
Yeah, she did.
That's what happens.
She did. That's how she
I
got me.
think they call that trickery.
Yeah, those damn white people,
I mean,
crafty.
I was gonna say women, but because
White women.
they'll do that. Because again, my wife, she cooks amazingly,
Yeah,
and to be honest, that's like a big bonus.
yeah.
Like
Well,
a humongous
honestly,
bonus.
I felt kind of gypped because I figured dating a white woman would mean I would have a lot of mac and cheese because I love mac and cheese. But they duped me when she was like, "Oh, do you not want chilaquiles? Do you not want sopes?" I was like, "Yeah, but I feel like I got in this for a reason, and I got here to get away from that for a little bit."
I feel like mac and cheese is more of a melatonin centric type of food. Because the
Yeah.
best mac and cheese I've tried, the home cooked mac and cheese has been strictly from black households.
Yeah, whereas, huh? That's true.
Like they go heavy with
Yeah,
the
they
mac
do.
and cheese. Like they go
Collard greens,
they
yeah.
go gourmet with it.
Yeah.
Like and it's crazy. It's kind of like getting fancy with a grilled cheese. I mean, and I tend to do that because that's struggle food. That's
What-
because again, it's two pieces of bread, white bread, and cheap oily cheese.
Bro, what is the whitest food you can think of? You got 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Yo, my brother bought he brought yesterday, he went to a party, he brought a German sausage.
That's European. That's German.
Fam. Fam, this thing was white, like gray, chalky white. Like it looked like a dead sausage. I took a bite of it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was
It was a thing.
It didn't make me want to throw up, but
but if you think about it, if you didn't have a fridge, you could still eat that.
that's what it is, bro.
Because again, we
It
got
was-
we gotta make connections to not only our Paisa roots, because we also gotta acknowledge that we have a white side to all of us. Because
Oh, I
we-
definitely have a
be-
lot of European in me.
because again, we're product of rape, but for some reason, we're willing to identify more with our darker skin
We
tone
should
because
we should
because
clarify
we're
though.
marginalized because of it.
We should clarify. It's our ancestors and not like our dads raped somebody and had us.
Oh no, yeah. Oh, of
Definitely,
course.
we gotta be
yeah.
a little clear. You
Yeah.
you don't want to get caught slipping by the wrong person.
Nah, yes. Anything after 1492 has
Yeah.
been rape, and we've been diluted. That's what I'm saying. We're the new reincarnation because me, I'm proud that I'm having brown babies.
Okay.
Because I feel like the world needs more brown babies.
Brown babies.
It's bad for them that they're little me's,
Right.
but I'm putting more brown babies on the earth.
Do you ever feel bad for the babies that are like super super brown? Not because they look brown, but because you know that living here they're gonna get chastised and they're gonna get maybe not accepted as much.
To be honest, bro, the darker skinned people I know are the more ambitious. I feel like the darker your skin tone is, the more likely you are to be ambitious
I feel
because
like
you get marginalized. Again, there's those exceptions to the
I
rule
yeah, 'cause
because
I definitely have
there's
two
a
jobs.
yeah, of course, again, we fit within the spectrum, but
Yeah.
like just statistically, just numbers based,
But that brings up a good point. Paisas that are born here, I feel like they're more in touch with their Mexican side than the ones that came from over the border. And that's always astounded me because it's like, listen, you really want to be Mexican, but you don't really want to be a Mexican living in the U.S. It's cool. The music is cool. The lifestyle is good. The food is cool.
we're more likely to adapt to the culture.
That you think so?
We make a better fit because just like the earlier paisas in this country, the Italians and
The Irish.
the Irish and early on the Germans. Because I was talking to my neighbor not that long ago because I moved into this white neighborhood not that long
Yeah.
ago.
Congratulations, by
Yeah,
the way, infiltrating white America one step at a time.
because we come again from upstate. We're from Newburgh. We're like hour and a half from
Manhattan, the
Manhattan.
heart of Manhattan.
The heart of yeah. So we're known as the murder capital of New York. So
Yeah.
I grew up my whole life in the hood. Like I moved straight to the heart of the hood when we straight got here. So we slowly progressed to the point where we're like, I'm surrounded by people that are retired.
Yeah.
And these people just they're chilling all the time. And I just met one of my close neighbors because she usually is not home during the day. She's been traveling for the
Right.
past year, so that's why I haven't really came across her. So we're talking whatever, and then she's just telling me the whole story about how the Germans came here in like the late 1800s, and then afterwards, they settled here, and then later came the Italians, and then the Irish, and then how they were the ones that were kind of they were the Pisces at the time because
They were
but
marginalized.
yeah, believe it or not, certain type of whites were marginalized, because
Yeah.
America is home of the races,
But you know why Irish people were ostracized so much?
Be honest, bro. That's just to me. That's white on white crime. And
But I'll
I
tell
ask
you
no
what. I'll
questions.
tell you why, because we can relate to this.
Why?
They were Catholic. They weren't Christians.
Ooh.
They were Catholic. That's why they used to get beat up. That's why they used to get shitted on so much. And who's the next wave of Catholic immigrants?
Ooh.
Everybody south of the border.
Ooh, cause we heavy with it. We are bringing Catholicism back.
My guy. As I look around the room, I've seen not one, not two, but three different Virgen de Guadalupe shrines in one room alone.
Yeah.
And even by Paisa standards, that's a relatively low number of shrines dedicated to our patron saint. But that were humongously faithful.
We are the reason why Catholicism is
thriving.
the number one
Oh,
religion
don't-
in the world.
The stock for Catholicism in the U.S. has gone up increasingly ever since
Because we're making
Mexicans
more
and
and more.
South. Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised they haven't changed up the whole Jesus thing. I mean, in 50 years, like, who's going to be the most followed? Will it be Jesus? Probably not. Probably La Virgen de Guadalupe.
Ooh,
Google her.
Flex.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I believe that because in Mexico there's a lot of I guess women saint based sectors of Catholicism. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it's crazy because when you go to your pueblo, like they got santitos, they got the churches.
Oh,
When I was in Mexico, bro, in my dad's town, that's literally in the middle of Puebla, just out in the boonies.
My guy, bro.
They have $150,000 gold ceiling, just like paint, just throughout gold paint throughout $150,000 worth of gold paint, because they go heavy with it, bro.
My middle name is a saint. Our town is San Antonio.
Ooh.
That's how, because I was born around around the day of the festival in my town that celebrates that and commemorates that saint. So they figured, Antonio.
Actually, let's really, really, really connect this to our Paisa roots.
Okay.
If you go to any Mexican store, here in New York, Paulitas, that's
Right.
I guess shout out to them because they're the supermarket for Paisas.
Yeah, that's true.
locally. So they have this. They have this. Damn, I just lost it.
Yeah, to be fair. One of us here has been,
To be honest, I've been awake for over 36 hours
yeah,
working,
working.
and this is the last hour of how I wind it down before I spend the 2 3 hours with my kids, and then I go to sleep
Right.
before I go to work at night.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. So oh yeah, the the calendar. Now I remember.
The
Yeah,
calendar.
the, the you get a calendar there every year,
Yeah.
and then right in every single date there's a Dia de Santo,
Yep.
and then think
Yep.
about it. There's over 300 and some change because it's not every
Not every
day.
single
Yeah,
day.
because they have the holidays in there, so
Right.
there's not 365 names in there, but there's like 330.
Some change.
320. Knowing me, if I count it, I guarantee it'd be 333 because for some reason I feel like the number 333 follows me around everywhere.
Wow.
I'm a,
That's creepy as shit, bro.
that's why I'm gonna just throw this out back out on the internet. Because instead of believing in ghosts, I'm gonna believe like in the internet-based shit. Because I hear that number a lot on the
No,
airwaves,
I actually
and I might need to send it back out.
let me tell you something, man. I used to work with this dude. Shout out to my man Keith, who was a very spiritual guy. He had a tattoo on his chin, very tribal-ish, but he was a very spiritual guy, and he was always telling me he could see spirits, and he would tell me about the number 333, and I guess it's like a very good number, like a very positive number. And the whole play on 666 was because it was twice that number. No. Yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. So that whole 333 is like a very good positive number. Again, I could be wrong. He could be wrong,
Yo,
but
bro,
that's what he
because
believes in.
I mean, I'm not gonna get into details here, but that shit follows me everywhere. That's why I want to throw it back out in the net.
Yeah, 333 is supposed to
Like
be
see if it comes back to me somehow. Just because that's how I've just been basing my life.
right.
That I kind of that's how in the Matrix you hear follow the white rabbit.
Right.
For me, it's like follow the 33.
30, yeah.
33.
Well, the number 3 is supposed to be like the Holy Trinity. It's supposed to be like a really, really good number.
Let's hope so, bro. Let's hope
Let's
so.
hope so. Because if I come to visit you one day and there's like mad ritualistic signs all over your house and the number 33, I'm not even coming in your front door. I'm
Oh
gonna
no.
assume that you've been sacrificed.
Yeah, that's why we can only get flavoring with a few things, but not too many. Again,
Yeah.
we're trying to fit in. Man. We out here in Middle America. We finally made it.
America.
Yeah, Middle America. And did you know that my daughter always corrects me?
What do you mean?
She always corrects me when I say America. She's like, "Dad, it's America."
Oh.
Oh, now I remember something else that I touched on. First attempt, episode 6,
Uh-huh.
that I really wanted to touch on that I forgot to write on the notes, on the
Okay.
rundown. But I want to touch on that, and that's gonna be our last story before we head out because
Okay.
we're probably running a little longer than usual.
No, we're pretty much on schedule.
Okay.
40 something ish.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So pretty much she and I were in couch watching TV,
Okay.
and actually with my wife and my son, and I don't know what kind of streaming service we're watching because we don't got cable, cord cutting and shit.
Okay.
We started watching this documentary about just pretty much immigrants, immigration, people like us,
Mhm.
I'd say a Paisa type of film.
Okay.
And there's a lot of stories of kids that have been crossing the border, stuff like that, pretty much summarizing the whole child crisis. And then there was this 4-year-old boy that got deported 3 times.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you were telling me.
He got a 4-year-old, a Guatemalan 4-year-old got deported three
Yeah.
times. Meaning a 4-year-old was technically arrested and detained and then sent through the deportation process. Like he went through the legal system
Hmm.
and removed from the country.
It happens.
Think about it. Do you think people would tolerate that if a 4-year-old went?
White boy was no, fuck no. They'd lose their shit
No,
over
no,
that.
not even the way, but just any 4-year-old
Hmm.
would have to go to court for any other thing. Again, immigration court and
Yeah.
criminal court are two completely different things. The whole
Right.
immigration system is a whole beast within itself, bro.
Mhm.
That's a big thing. White people do not understand, bro. Because every single time I tell my story to any U.S. citizen, they tell me the first thing that comes out their mouth is, "Why don't you just become a citizen?" And
Wouldn't it just
and
be easier if you just got your papers?
bro, and there is nothing more frustrating in the
Yeah,
world for me to hear.
those words because they
Yeah,
assume it's just an easy thing. It's just you.
someone that votes and just average U.S. citizen ask those type of questions. It just shows me how n- little information is out there for
Yeah,
people to know. Because they're like, oh, how come you just don't go to the post office and get a passport? And I know that sounds simple, and it's not
really
that
not.
simple. It's our lives are so complicated. Like that's just one aspect of it.
And that's why to bring up the something I said earlier regarding the Paisas that live here that were born here. You may listen to the music, you may eat the food, you may even talk the language, but when the shit really goes down, you're not gonna be Mexican. You don't want to be Mexican for real, or
we
Paisa. You don't really
we
want to be a
are
Paisa.
literally cut from a different cloth,
Yeah,
bro.
absolutely. But that was the thing growing up. It was I used to get shit on a lot because like, oh, you're how you Mexican? You're not Mexican. You don't listen to music. You don't dress like we do. Well, dog, I'm way more Mexican than you'll ever be in your life,
Yeah,
ever.
like yeah, as a paisa growing up here,
Yeah,
shit you get from even within your own community.
from from
From
legal Paisas. We'll say it like that.
yeah, the other type, the paisas that don't know their paisas yet,
Yeah, exactly.
because at the end of the day, we're gonna make we're gonna take over the whole paisa thing, and we're gonna show the world that being a paisa is popping as fuck.
Yeah, but
Because
yo,
I've never met a paisa that's not popping.
man,
And,
but you know,
and I feel like that's why a lot of people just ask us, how come you don't just become a U.S. citizen? Because again, that's how my neighbor, the white lady that explained the whole I European immigration here.
uh
Again, connecting it back to that, the whole reason. Again, this lady knows her grandma was born in that house across the street
huh.
in the late 1800s.
Oh wow.
There, and then all her family was born around here. Like there was like 3, 4 families that grew up around this whole area here, and they eventually made houses around there for their kids, and then it just kind of spread down to where this whole like mile square radius was literally just 3 families, and then now it's like, let's say, 15, 20 houses.
Okay.
You know, she literally told me, "Boy, you're just as American as me." She's like, "You talk like me. You don't have an accent. You carry yourself very well. You have your business. You do this, you do that. You worry about your kids. You like all these things that just point to just a regular working American." And for her to know all that immigration story about her family and
Right.
just the area in general, for her to say, "Oh, how come you just don't do that?" is because she's from a time when you used to
Be able to.
be able to
Yeah, you
just
could just walk through
mm,
Ellis Island and you get
yeah,
your papers on
yeah,
the fly. Yeah.
yeah. They get, like, in those days, you would come in and then just get a green card, and
Yeah.
then I feel like that's where that misconception started from.
Yeah.
Towards like, oh, you're from a time where they would just let people in. The whole reason why the whole immigration system is broken is not because they're not letting people in, it's because the way they base how many people let in is really messed up, because they only let in certain amount of people each year. So each country only gets a certain amount of numbers. So instead of saying, let's see how many people want to come in from where, they just kind of make numbers and say, we're only going to let in 1,500, and we'll only do 300 from X amount of places.
Right.
Like, they won't even think about how big one country is compared to the other.
Or
And shit
how
like,
close it is and how many can get in from that.
yeah, and how they already influence a lot of the culture and shit like that. We're literally the whole backbone of this country.
Yeah.
Because again, you go out to eat, who's in the kitchen? Paisas. Who built your house?
Most
Paisas.
likely Paisas.
Who cleans your house?
Who cuts
Paisas.
your grass?
Paisas. Who grows your food? Paisas.
And you know what, man? A lot of people complain. Oh, they're coming over here and they're taking our jobs. You
They're
know what?
stealing our job.
We are. We absolutely are stealing your jobs. But you know what? Listen to me, white
It's
people.
because you will do
Listen,
it, and
white
I do
people.
it better, and I do it cheaper.
Exactly.
It's, good. It's capitalism.
Here's the thing.
You set capitalism up. Now we're using it against you.
Well, here's the thing. Yo, white people, I know you're listening to this because I know you listen to Paisa Life. If you let
Don't appropriate it yet.
if you let someone from another country with less opportunities than you come to your house and eat your food, that's your fucking fault. That's you not wanting that food as much as someone else.
You see all that meat you leave on your chicken bones?
I'm gonna take it.
We don't. In my house, we don't.
We can, my mom would hit me for that. What are you talking about?
That's a whole other meal. Like
Yeah.
everything you left on your plate, that's another meal. Cause we don't stand to the whole breakfast, lunch, dinner thing.
Yeah, it's like
we eat what we want, what we want.
yeah. Absolutely.
That's why we eat a lot of fried.
You know
stuff,
what,
bro?
man?
'Cause
Ba-
shout out to Vitamin T.
Yeah, tortas, tamales,
Vitamin T,
tostadas.
biggest sponsors of.
Oh, yeah.
Of
But
the
back
Paisa
back to
community.
what you were saying about like paisas being the next incarnation of
Native Americans were taking over the land.
we like them. We also don't leave any parts of the animal to waste.
Nah, no,
At all.
Of course not.
We make the bones into souvenirs and sell them to white people. We make like 10,000 different types of foods with the same type of meat. Then we use the hides to decorate. Maybe
And
boots?
I'm throwing this out there. If you got me in the dub, I show you how to make a shank out of a chicken bone
There you go.
and newspaper and some string.
there you go. But
From
that's
a
also is that really a paisa hack or is that more like I was in federal prison?
a little bit of that.
But yo, you know what I love saying about federal crimes? It's like I always like telling people, you know, when you were 4 years old and you were learning how to tie your shoes and learning how to ride your bike, I was running through a desert committing my first federal crime.
And to connecting it back to the little boy that got deported 3 times, which meaning the U.S. government sued him 3 times and decided to get a 4-year-old out of the country. So he snuck in 2 more times, and he pretty much tried to get to his mom,
Yeah.
and his mom is being contacted by Homeland Security saying, "Hey, we got your son." So she's a paisa. She got no papers. What is she gonna do? Show up to immigration and be like, "Let me take."
Right.
She's gonna get scooped up.
Of course.
So where they got to a whole legal thing where a lawyer was like,
it's legal blackmail.
yeah, exactly. So they were like, this is horrible. They can't really be doing all these things,
Bro, and you know what the worst part is? That kid is going to get such a beating for fucking up the process of coming over the country because that mom is going to wild out. Yo, one thing about paisa moms is if you do one thing wrong, even if you have the best intentions at heart, you're fucking getting hit, bro. I don't care what it is.
That's how you figure out what's on your blacklist. You know you don't do it because you got hit. You're like, I don't want that.
I don't think so. I won't do it again. I'm 26 years old, and there's a lot of things that I won't do because I did them when I was like 5 or 6, and it didn't go too well with my mom. So
I know too much. So
yeah, I know too much of what can happen.
yeah, but it's bringing it back to a little kid.
Yeah.
As scary as this whole story sounds, the crazier thing to me was that I'm watching this with my daughter, my 6-year-old.
Oh,
She
yeah.
understands, and she starts asking me, "Are they running from the same people that you're running from?" Because I talked, when she asked me a question, she
Right.
understands, because sometimes I come home a little shook up because I'm driving to a job site, and again I'm abiding by all
Laws.
all laws, speed limit,
Right.
all my lights function, I'm a driving enthusiast, so I know my driving is always A1.
Mm-hmm.
My braking is always on point. I use my turn signals when I have to. Everything's to par. If you were to give me a percentage for driving, I guarantee you I'll be within 95% up. But I always gotta be scared when I see headlights behind me, bro, because it just takes the one person to realize that I'm a brown person driving a white car,
Yeah.
and then boom, bro. And she notices, and she'll ask me like, "Dad, are you okay?" Because I'll come home at 6 o'clock in the morning from working, and walk into a room and be like, "Thank God, you're here. Like you're my inspiration for everything." That's why I go out there and risk my freedom on a daily basis just to put food on the table and a roof over her head. That's why I bust my ass to put her in a private school because these are the things that I could never have. And then when I explain that, and she sees that, and that's the crazy thing that
Yeah.
the kids they know, bro, because they're little youths. So all the questions you've ever had, they're born with, you know. So when she sees all of this and she understands that there's a government made agency that sole job is to go after a certain type of people that don't belong here, quote unquote.
Right.
Like she knows that, and
Yeah.
then like she knows that's homeland security, and she's like, why do they do that? She's like, they want to get rid of my daddy,
Right.
and they want to get rid of another little kid. She's like, why do they do that? And do you know how crazy it is to have to explain
Oh
that
yeah.
to a 6-year-old,
Oh
bro?
yeah. I can
To
imagine.
have to explain that, oh, the U.S. government made Homeland Security, and they make laws. Is that
Yeah.
it's crazy,
And man,
for me to first handedly have seen all these protections just be a form of, I don't want to say genocide because I'm still here. A lot of people are still alive, but like they want to get rid of us, bro. Like
yeah.
I don't understand why. And I know that it's an economical thing because me being here, being pursued, gives someone a job being a federal agent, which is great pay,
Yeah.
great benefits, great everything. Because I know people that work for Quarter Border Patrol, and they got nice house, nice car, always got money to spend, yada yada yada. And I look at them, I'm like, yo, you're just like you're the Gestapo, like just think about it, man. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of people out there that get paid money to go after a certain group of people. And if you just replace the Mexican word with Jew, people will go fucking
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
But again, we're the biggest victim of racism today
I've told
because
you before. If the FEMA death camps happen, who are the first people that are going to be put in there?
oh, of
The
course.
people that aren't supposed to be here, and anybody that's a shade darker than them. That's what's going to happen. And this has been the darkest segment of Dad, Paisa Dad. Wow, that shit was dark.
But again, that's
No, but man, I can understand.
the overlaps of being a paisa and
Right.
trying to be the
But
best father you can
but
be.
bro, I had that
It's
same conversation with my dad when we got here. Gave me the same spiel, same thing. So I can totally relate to where your daughter's coming from, man.
I was like, yo, I just gave up everything I had over there.
Yeah.
Do what you can here. They're still gonna be after you.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
but I feel awesome knowing that my kids can't be deported, bro. Like
Yeah, that's
I
got to
feel
be a nice feeling.
it's feeling but scary because the fact that they're so young.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if they get rid of me, then I didn't do my job all the way.
Oh, let me switch real quick. How disappointed would you be if your daughter decides she wants a sweet 16 over a quinceañera?
Would be slightly
Slightly
disappointed,
disappointed?
but to be honest,
You'd understand?
I feel nah. I feel like she'll just like 'cause she understands, man. It's like she understands the difference between a torta and a sandwich.
Mm.
Like it's
Oh, okay. Hold on. What is the difference between a torta and a sandwich?
come
Because
on.
there's a lot of people that might listen to this that have no idea.
Biggest difference is Wonder Bread, and then you got a telera or
Telera, telera, which is basically it's like a hard roll,
it's a Mexican
but
hard
it's a
roll.
Mexican hard roll.
It's a
It's
Mexican
got a
hard
lot
roll.
more swag, a lot more taste, a lot more spices.
Un bolillo maybe perhaps.
Bolillo,
Bolillo, but
which is again pretty much the same thing, but it somehow tastes
yeah,
different.
I feel like the whole Paisa life thing is a poor people culture.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's why we're awesome because we eat meat down to the bones,
Yeah.
and then we are good with breads.
Yo, and
Shout out to the conchas.
of course, always,
We need
always.
concha sponsors.
Yo, how is it? It's been 6 episodes and not one of you has stepped up and given us free conchas.
Because I don't think anybody listening is drinking conchas.
yeah. Yeah, we might have to make our own conchas. I'm telling you, let's make that artisanal concha shop. Hipsters would go crazy for it.
Dude, we remember we gotta go cross country finding the world's best conchas.
That's I can't wait.
But first we gotta start locally. We gotta
Yeah,
find the first
and also
city neighbor concha. Then we gotta find the best, you know, county.
yeah, you also
wide.
have to deal with the fact that
Middletown.
we can't really leave the country.
Word.
So we can't become like an international thing
It-
at the moment.
in the state.
Interstate, intercommunity,
Inner community,
Inter-county.
inner county, yeah, inner county.
because we,
How about state? Let's do statewide. Let's do statewide.
I'm okay with statewide.
Statewide.
I feel like Texas probably those southern states would probably have a chokehold on it because they're so close to Mexico. They are Mexico. They were part of Mexico once in a while. Once in a time.
Norte Mexico.
Yeah,
so
that's not really Mexico.
I mean,
Is it?
It's a type of Mexico. It's a type
Oh,
of Mexico.
yo, that's the thing that amazes me because a lot of people look at me because I'm tall. I'm over 6 feet tall. I'm light skinned. They don't ever assume I'm Mexican. But there are people in northern Mexico that are blonde, blue green eyed, whiter than most Americans, and they're walking right in front of you, and you have no idea they're Mexican.
the Mitt Romneys of the world.
Yeah, yeah,
Because he got a family.
he
I think
does.
his family
I saw
is-
that. I saw that advice. Yeah,
Yeah,
documentary.
This dude goes generations back. But if
Yeah.
if you see that, he's technically Mexican.
Is he?
But
He's a Mormon.
but you see, our type of Mexican goes back thousands of years.
That's true.
We are the land, bro.
That
We are-
is true.
That's why I say that we Paisas are the reincarnation of the Native Americans.
You just brought it full circle. Goddamn.
And I believe that's a wrap on
That's
episode 6.
We'll end it there.
We'll end it there. On,
Yo,
on
shout
that
out
note,
to you guys for listening. This has been episode 6.2.
one,
6.1?
6.1,
And more to come. We might have a little bit of a delay on the time of when we actually put the episode out, but be on the lookout for our Facebook, which is
Facebook.com/PaisaLifeNY.
and we also have an Instagram with the same handle. No, not an Instagram, a Twitter. We will have an Instagram
We have a
sometime this week.
SoundCloud,
We do have a
SoundCloud.com
SoundCloud.
/PaisaLife.
Paisa Life.
PaisaLife, you got this. Subscribe there.
Paisalife. Paisa Life.
And hopefully by next week we'll be on iTunes.
Hopefully,
Hopefully.
maybe even MySpace. Taking it way back.
Word. We'll do.
People still use MySpace.
Of course. Anywhere people listen to stuff, we're on there.
People
We're trying to
still
get on
listen.
there.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Again,
People still.
if you're trying to
go on
help with the
MySpace.
whole getting this shit out there, holla at us.
Yeah.
Production, we need help.
Yo,
we
yo,
help
my-
in everything.
My dad still uses his AOL email.
A lot of people do, bro.
Yeah,
A lot of people.
That's that Paisa shit.
Yeah, 'cause again, you stick to a real Paisa thing, bro. Is Hotmail.
Wow.
Messenger.
MSN.
Yo, that shit is
Yeah.
heavy in the third
Hell
world.
yeah. So is WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, I think WhatsApp is everywhere. I think it's worldwide.
Everywhere.
I think like over here we do our own thing, and I feel like that's why the country appeals to us, because we take the swag and then we swag that swag up.
Wow. Swag OD. Swag squared. Wow.
Swag cubed.
Swag. Wow. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're trying to get at. We're trying to just
We try to flip
increase
this,
the X. Yeah.
we
The
try to flip
exponents.
this shit on his head.
Oh yeah. We're gonna go into quantum physics. Swag. Quantum physics. One day.
Because like we mentioned before, we excessive.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's what this outro was.
Extremely excessive.
A little bit excessive.
A lot of the things that we said
we-
weren't really necessary, but fuck it, you still got 'em.
We could have just said, and we're out.
And we're out. Yo, but on that note, yo, thank you for listening, and we're out.
Peace.